मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने ओमय ऋकारस्त्वन्कारो वै ऋकारस्त्वन्निवर्तकः अन्धकारनिरोधित्वात् गुरुरित्यभिधीयते सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे परम्पराम्। ॐ मित्रशं बृहस्पति नो विष्णुरुक्रमः नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्म वदिष्यामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं तन्मावतु तद्वक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारम्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। यश्छन्दसामृषभो रूपः छन्दोभ्योऽध्यमृतात् सम्बभूषणे विचर्षणम् जिह्वामि मधुमत्तमा भ्यां श्रुभनः कोशोऽसि मेधया पिहितः श्रुतं मे गोपाय। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। अहं वृक्षस्य रेरिव कीर्तिः पृष्ठं गिरेरिव ऊर्ध्वपवित्रो वाजिनीव स्वमृतमस्मि वर्चसं सुमेधा अमृतोक्षितः इति त्रिशङ्कोर्वेदानुवचनम्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। पूर्णमदः पूर्णपूर्णपूर्णपूर्वान्ति आप्यायन्तु मम अङ्गानि वाक्प्राणश्चक्षुः श्रोत्रमथो बलमिन्द्रियाणि च सर्वं ब्रह्मोपनिषदं माहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्यां मा ब्रह्म निराकरोत्। निराकरणं मे अस्तु तदात्मतेय उपनिषे मयि सन्तु वाङ्मे प्रतिष्ठिता वाचि प्रतिष्ठितम् आवीर्मेधि श्रुतं मे मा प्रहासि अनेनानेन अवतु and so on. It's kind of like the PhD. So for that purpose, it's difficult to Upanishad to understand, and therefore we read Karika to enable us to. So it's an advantage. So in that sense, what that we should do up to a certain extent, we be free from life. Up to a certain extent, we have books that you have to maintain your health, not neglect it. Any problems, doshas, and we figure out very soon or later. Not very good for me. I should just be loving. All of those kinds of things we can figure out. So large extent we can relatively free of problems in one our life. But despite that, there is no complete resolution. I am still very much affected by the daily issues of of being a living being, certainly being dependent on the body, and so the body's problems becomes mine, and so on and so forth. So, comes either through my own thinking or search, or through somebody else's, the Ishvara's karuna, some help, where it says, there is something better you can do. You can really be completely free of the problems. You not only relatively problems which you can figure out, but you can be completely free of problems which you can. But it's there. So once we get to that, into Tattva Bodha or some other introductory text, but if you just look at before that, before I get to it, if you remember from the last class, we said that from a standpoint of the technical definition of the four padas, the pada can be taken as karana vyutpatti and karma vyutpatti. If you remember that. So what does that mean? That means that pada can be taken as means to an end, which is called karana vyutpatti. Karana means the one which is an instrument, is called karana. Antahkarana, which is the mind. Bahishkarana means the hands. And so both of these are really, so it's interesting to see that really speaking, our whole identity as a human being is a karana vyutpatti. Things are given to us as instruments. Instruments are not an end in themselves, as the very name implies. It is a means of gaining an end. So, for example, you look at a car that you bought. You don't buy the car to just look at it. Well, actually, we do. If you buy a brand new car, you are so happy with it. Let's say you buy a Tesla. These days now it is Tesla is the thing. So you buy a Tesla, you can just look at it and say, wow, so beautiful, so nice. Okay, how long are you going to keep saying that? It is so beautiful. The main thing you bought the car is you want to go somewhere. This is the problem. We buy cars just having a good identity. I have a very good car. Really speaking, the car is meant for, the people are a lot smarter that just get a $20,000 car and it does the job. But no, we need to have a $100,000 car just to... So the car is an instrument. Very similar to that, the human form is an instrument. And it is a very, very important and a very sophisticated instrument. And it is very interesting that, for example, your cell phone. Cell phone is an instrument. Car is an instrument. All the outer things are instruments. And those instruments can be separated from you. This is what happens to our cell phone. We cannot find it. What happened? So then you have to find someone. Can you please ring me? And then, and so there you can, I was thinking about it the other day. Our biggest instrument is our wallet. And the wallet does not have any ringtones. That would be very nice. That really would be nice. We lose our, if cell phone you lose, you feel a little bit bad. But wallet, if you lose, forget it. Just amazing. The other day, something in San Francisco, it is such a dangerous town, I tell you. My kids have been, my son lives in San Francisco, and even for a long time they've been saying, he says, Mom and Dad, if you ever park your car, don't have a single thing showing. And just the other day, my son was telling me that he witnessed this from a distance. So, and this happens all the time. You have visitors from Europe and from other countries who come and visit, and they don't know what a bad situation it is. They leave their car and they put their bags in there, visible to everybody. So the other day, my son was saying, this was an orchestrated attack. 4 youngsters came in. They all had 4 hammers in their hands. All of them. So this was a minivan that was full of visitors' bags. So the 4 of them simultaneously banged at a window, grabbed 1 or 2 bags from each, and then just ran. And he says the police came, and though these people finally came in, they had their passports and their wallets. Everything is all gone in a matter of seconds. So what I'm saying is that your wallet is an instrument, a very important instrument. And the instrument can be separated from you, can be lost. That's why I think it's a great business opportunity. Really, we should have some kind of a ringtone on your wallet. Then beep, beep, it says, I'm here. If you can't find it, that means you're in big trouble. So the instruments can be lost. What confuses me as I begin to inquire into the self is that this very sophisticated instrument given by Ishvara can never be lost. It is always connected with me. Actually, something, if you really think about it, in fact, this is what is going to come in Mandukya. It is lost, but we disregard it. He says, no. It's not lost. This is an important thing, actually. When is it lost? At night time. At night time, you are, and then Ishvara actually gives you some hints. Some hints. Here, one very important thing to really look at this. This is all part of the Mandukya's methodology of Viveka. So I'm giving you some other commentaries on it and so on, but all relevant to this. So Swami Maheshananji pointed out very clearly, I've known about this somewhat, but the clarity with which he really explained this was telling. So he said the following. He said, look at the Vedic thought, the Hindu thought. It is not there in any other way. No other parts of the world has this. Very amazing. Amazing. It's not even close comparison to any of this. What do we mean by that? Hinduism, the Vedic thought, Vedanta, and specifically Vedanta, looks at the totality of the human existence. But this is our issue. Our problem is really, we say that we look at ourselves in a distorted way. Yes, we look at ourselves in a distorted way. More importantly than that, we look upon ourselves in an incomplete way. How do we say that? Because if you look at, and so because of the incomplete, it becomes distorted. How do we say that? So because if you look at all schools of thought in the world, everyone that we know of, maybe there are some that we are not aware of, all schools of thought only look upon the waking state as the reality of one's life. Jagrat avastha. And all of their analysis, all their thoughts, all their views of solving problems have to do with Jagrat avastha. Where is God? What is my relationship to it? What's happening? How do I get away from it? It all has to do with Jagrat avastha. So the Vedic thinking says this is not correct, guys. This is like you are looking at 1/4 of the things and drawing your entire conclusion from the 1/4 of it. It's not going to happen. It's not going to take you anywhere. You've got to look at the whole picture. In looking at the whole picture, you find this is Atma Chatushpath. This is what we're going to be studying for the next 2 years, believe me. This is going to take a long time. So don't think about when is this text is going to close, to finish. Don't even think about it. It's not going to finish. You will probably drop out much before this gets finished. I assure you that. There will be people who will say, oh, I've been studying this for a long time. Let me go do something else. So the whole picture is really worth, once you see the whole picture, then the solutions can be more real. So in that sense, Swami Maheshanji pointed out that look, all the 4 aspects, which is, Jagrat avastha, and then Swapna avastha, Sushupti avastha, and Turiya, which is not a 4th, but in a way we will explain how that is the 4th. In all aspects, every one of them has a basic function to communicate to you. Okay? Just look, this is very, very important stuff. Really just grasp this. So take, for example, the Sushupti avastha. He says the main function that the Sushupti avastha communicates, Ishvara has a reason why he wants you to have Sushupti avastha, is to communicate that my sense of joy is not necessarily the result of my karma. Think about that. Because my conclusion is just the opposite. My conclusion is that I'm not very happy. And you can have various reasons for the unhappiness. You can say the whole world has been not fair to me. I've had an unfair deal in this world. So you blame others. Mostly we go through such phases like that, but ultimately the phase that we settle on is that I am not very happy because I haven't tried hard enough. Now I'm going to arrange things and do better. So, but the very basics of my thinking is that, and then another thing, you can make some cause-effect relationships. You know, very simply that, for example, supposing you're feeling not very happy, that you go to an ice cream shop and you have ice cream. Then for about 10 minutes or so, you're very happy. You're very happy. So what happens is that now you make a connection between ice cream and happiness. And it's a good thing, actually. It's a very good thing that if all else fails, just go to an ice cream shop. Yeah, it's very good. Excellent. I was telling you that the other day, I don't know if I was telling you this or not, but the other day my granddaughters had a choir concert in Palo Alto. So they are, it's a very, very interesting thing. The choir in their school is very well done. So they actually get languages from all over. So they have Hebrew songs from Israel, they have African songs, and the different languages. And these young kids, I don't know how they memorize these words. They don't even know the meaning of it, but it's just, anyway, they were having this concert the other day in Palo Alto. And so my wife and I we used to give them flowers, you know, a rose or so on. So our son basically said, you know, Mom and Dad, don't keep on giving them flowers. What are they going to do with it? Give them something else. So we said, I don't know what else to give them. So then we gave them some candies and so on. So this one time, we found out that they loved this ice cream shop called Tin Cup or Tin something. It's a very, all these are high-end ice creams. It's just ordinary ice cream. They do it on the thing, and it's ice cream has become very high-end. So there's one ice cream shop in Los Altos. So I said, okay, I'm going to go buy 2 $10 gift certificates to give to Arya and Sienna. So I go there, and so there was this, the shop had not yet opened. They were about to open, and there was another lady also with me. And so I was there first. So I said, you know, I want to buy 2 gift certificates. So she says, oh, okay. So she opened up her drawer and started, took my credit card and so on. And this other woman was just looking at the different ice creams and was watching me. She was waiting for me to finish so that she can buy her ice cream. So when I finished, she said, aren't you going to have an ice cream yourself? So I said, no, I haven't even had my lunch yet or anything, and I don't eat ice cream actually. It's just too fattening for me. I didn't say that to her, but I said, no. She says, I can't believe it. You came all the way and you're not even having this ice cream. I said, I just did it for. So ice cream is a very good place. And so from there, you have a connection between karma and karma phala. And you extend the logic of the happiness from an ice cream shop to everything else in your life. Then you say different ways that, you know, if I see a movie, then I'll be happy. Then I'll be more informed. If I do this, then I'll be. So this is all karma. Swami Maheshananji says, look, this is your base logic. And this is an important thing to see. The base logic is that unless my to-do lists are addressed, I am not going to be happy. We all carry a to-do list in our minds. This should happen, this should happen, this should happen. And I'm willing to postpone my happiness because I feel it is okay for me to wait until these things give me happiness. So this is the basic logic of my life. So see this. And it is all based on Jagrat Avastha. Okay? The Sushupti Avastha breaks that logic down. This is the main function that Ishvara wants to communicate to you through the Sushupti Avastha. How does it break it down? You are the happiest without being connected to karma. Without being connected to karma. You have nothing to do with karma. Nothing to do with karma at all. Swami Dayanandji used to give a similar example. This is an important example because, it's an important way of thinking, not an example, but an important way of thinking. The way of thinking is that if our nature was fundamentally incomplete and wanting, the wanting nature of the Atma, then even simple things cannot break that logic. But he says they do. Like a joke, just a simple joke can break it down. You can just feel for the time being happy. So that gives me an opportunity to tell you a joke. And I think I may have already told you that I keep this thing as only a few jokes and so on. So did I tell you about the joke about this guy who was a heart patient who won lottery? Did I tell you that?
Yes.
So forget it. So it's the same one. So anyway, so I won't go into all of that since I've already told you. They won't have the same effect. But the interesting thing is that, and Swamiji would have, he is a master of jokes. He's got probably like 10,000 jokes in his back and he remembers it. And so we used to tell him, huh?
They must be using WhatsApp.
WhatsApp, no, it wasn't there at that time. We used to tell Swamiji, he said, Swamiji, if ever you become unsuccessful as a teacher, Vedanta teacher, then please go to Las Vegas and have your own show. But it's interesting that when he would give a joke, he'll say, now you are all happy for the time being, aren't you not? Has your do list disappeared? No. It hasn't disappeared. It's still there. It's your own attitude. You create your own sense of imprisonment in life. And it really took a long time for me to convince that, my God, that is true. It is true. Because otherwise what happens is that the sense of imprisonment seems very real. That I'm not a happy person and I'm not going to be happy for a long time until I do this, then that. But one of the things that the teacher teaches is that is not necessary. In fact, it goes back to the Vairagya. That if you look at yourself in the mirror and you find deficiencies in how you look, don't waste any time in being swept away by the thoughts of the deficiencies of the body. Start, in fact, looking at the beauty of the Atma, the Mahima of the Atma. And if you don't know it, then learn. And if you've learned it and you're not spending enough time, spend enough time. Anyway, so going back to the Sushupti Avastha, Swami Maheshananji said, the main beauty of the Sushupti Avastha is, it should tell you something. That my fundamental nature is total joy without doing anything. This is the main contribution. That's the good word I would like to use. The contribution of the sleep state is to show me the breakdown of the logic that I must do something in order to be happy. And until you make that as a part of your enquiry, you're not doing a complete enquiry. Think about it. It's not just Jagrat Avastha, Jagrati. We have lots of other states That is the totality of yourself. And each of the so-called parts of it, the padas, has something to tell you. It has more things to tell you, but this is at least the very simple one. Then comes the Swapnavastha. The Swapnavastha has something to tell you. And what it has to tell you is that the Atma is Swayam Jyotihi. It is self-existing and powerful and has all the things that you ascribe to things that are being seen. So let's explain that. Here's the thing. From the Jagrata Avastha, we get an impression that I need the sun to see. I need the sunlight. I need light to see. The Swapnavastha dispels that. The Jagrata Avastha gives you the feeling that I am dependent on the outside world. And so my sense of imprisonment, I just use that word, sense of limitation, sense of being a samsari, is dictated by the samsara. This is the basic assumption of the Jagrata Avastha. It causes a problem. I cannot shake that logic because I find that outside things really do affect me. No doubt about it. I do not realize, I cannot even begin to think that I am creating it. I cannot even take baby steps towards that. It is so airtight. I can't even begin to, as soon as I start thinking about it, my mind says, shut up. Why are you wasting your time? Just improve your lot. That's okay. But you cannot dismiss it that you are creating it. How are you talking about it? We'll go into this in more detail perhaps in next class. So in the Swapnavastha, a funny thing happens. And the funny thing is that you have the same experience. If not the same, a similar experience. Similar experience. There is a sun. There are light. There can be shadows. There can be darkness. There are people. There's movement. There is non-movement like a table. All in the Swapnavastha. Whole thing is the same. Where does it all come from? From any outside? You are sleeping in a dark room at night time when the sun is not there, but it is bright light. You could have a dream where you're saying, it's just too much light here. You put your hand into the sun to shade yourself. You can do all of that. So the Swapnavastha gives you the introduction. Atma is Swayam Prakasha. Swayam Bhu. Swayam Jyotihi. It's a big contribution. because you cannot even entertain the thought that I am doing it. And how you are doing it with Ishvara's contribution, we will look into that in more detail in the rest of it, but just the basics of it. The Jagrata Avastha gives you an incomplete and therefore a distorted view of who you are. See this? It's not there anywhere. None of the other schools even think about this. So the Mandukya Upanishad makes a huge contribution. The whole Vedanta gives a huge contribution, but in clarifying Viveka, which is the very fundamental aspect of the path towards moksha, as we went through. In looking at Viveka, the Mandukya Upanishad has a specialty. And that specialty is to view the Viveka from the basic 4 states of the human existence. This is what is called Chatushpad, Atma Chatushpad. And so the methodology of the teaching is very interesting, that it gives you just the words that it's going to expand later. And if it doesn't expand later, then Karika has to explain it. Karika has to explain it, and it will. This is why we have such a huge explanation for it. So, but it puts a bookmark in saying, Ayam Atma Chatushpad. I think that's what it says, isn't it? So, Saha Ayam Atma Chatushpad. So it has, the English says, 4 quarters. And so the explanation of the 4 quarters will now begin. And so we will continue that. There's so much even more to say even before we finish the introduction. And I didn't realize that I will have so little done in terms of, in fact, I'll end this by what I briefly mentioned and I didn't complete it, which is the Shankara Bhashya. So the Shankara Bhashya gives the technical definition of the instrument. That's how we took the detour of the instrument. The first 3 padas are the instruments. So this is Karana Vyutpatti. And the 4th pada is the Karma Vyutpatti, which is the goal. So the first 3 padas are the sadhana, and the 4th one is the sadhya. Okay? And so for those of you that want to go into the Shankara Bhashya, the technical definition of the first 3 is called Trayanam Vishwadinam Purva Pravilapanena Turiyasya Pratipattihi iti Karana Sadhana Pada Shabdaha. So I'll explain this in more detail, but if you want to just do some pre-reading, Trayanam Vishwadinam Purva Pravilapanena Turiyasya Pratipattihi iti Karana Sadhana Pada Shabdaha. Then, in terms of the 4th pada, the Shankara Bhashya says, Turiyasya padyate iti karma sadhanaha pada shabdaha. Turiyasya padyate iti karma sadhana pada shabda means that the reaching of the fourth, which is the Atma, is the karma sadhana pada shabda. So the pada shabda has two aspects to it, which is karana sadhana and the one is karma sadhana. So this is explained in much more detail, which will we may not be able to even finish it in the next class, but we will certainly not even try to do it today. We'll wait until the next class to do that. Om Swasti Prajabhyah Paripalantam Nyayena Margena Mahim Mahishah Go Brahmanebhyah Shubhamastu Nityam Lokas Samastha Sukhino Bhavantu Kale Varshatu Parchanyah Prithvi Sasya Shalini Deshoyam Shobharahitah Brahmana Santu Nirbhayah Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayah Sarve Patrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschit Dukha Bhavet Asato Ma Satkamaya Tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityor ma amritangamaya Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om. Shesha? Sorry, just 1 second.
I can at least see this, the first three padas are what you said was waking state, sleeping state,
Correct.
deep sleep state.
Yeah.
What, I know the fourth one you said is Turiya. What is the English equivalent of it?
So the English is the English equivalent would be called the fourth one. The technical English meaning of Turiya means the fourth one. So that can only be lakshyate, natu vachyate.
Oh, okay.
It won't be lakshana only, because it is not a thing that you can. With the other things you can experience. So this is the experiencer that through which you all experience the others. So it is not an experience thing. It cannot be vachyat.
That's why you said it's a goal.
Correct. Yeah. Sorry.
So you said Swapnavastha is something is happening just like in Jagrata, so something is happening.
Right.
You see stuff and you know. So what is the point of it? Because we are awake and we are experiencing whatever that we are experiencing.
Right.
When we go to bed in Swapnavastha, we experience different things. So what is the point of the distinction?
So the point of the distinction is that both of them, even though they have different qualities, different propensities. One of the propensity of the Jagrata Avastha is that it is taking up more of your time than the Swapna Avastha. But leaving aside the propensity, they are in the same class of things, which is they are experienced. Okay? So the point of it is to point out that you are not an experienced thing, because this is what our feeling is, that I'm also, when you say that I'm not feeling well, that's your conclusion that I am an experienced thing who are not feeling well. So because somebody will say, how do you know you're not feeling well? He says, hey, don't argue with me. I'm the one who knows that I'm not feeling well. So you are experiencing it. So the point of of looking at Jagrat Avastha and Swapna Avastha is that beyond what you're experiencing, there is an experiencer which is independent of all three. So that cannot be done until you complete the analysis of all the experienced things. And from then we will see what is the fourth one. So that's the meaning of it. Ronnie?
Can you explain three first states, the Jagra, the Swapna, and the Sushupta, and what they have contributed to our understanding? Like the first one, you're dependent on the outside world, the samskara. In Swapna, you are without a light, you can see things, and in Sushupta,
Correct.
you
can be happy without,
right.
yes.
Then what is the contribution of the fourth state, the Turian state, to our understanding?
The contribution of the fourth state is that you're not a samsari. You are totally independent from all the others. There's no connection whatsoever. That is the ultimate contribution. You can't even, it's kind of like saying, you have accounts in 3 banks. When you are a poor person, you have Wells Fargo, you look at your say, oh, I only have $5,000 left, I better put some more money in. You have something in Bank of America and so on. And then you are saying that you, by the way, I forgot to tell you, you are the owner of all money that can ever be put into any bank. So you say, what? How is that possible? Yes. In other words, you can borrow any amount of money. You can use any money. The amount of money that you can get will fall short. Whatever money you can get, you have more money than that. So that contribution of the Reserve Bank, supposing you are the owner of the Reserve Bank, cannot be compared to the contributions of the others. There you can say there's some limited contribution of other things, but this is an unlimited contribution. So that requires a different way of looking at it. So this is what the fourth one will be. Yes?
So you were explaining the Sushupta Avastha and it's...
Sushupti.
Sushupti Avastha.
It's a feminine. Sushupti Avastha, yeah.
So you were saying it reveals that you can be happy without the contribution of the karma. So I got confused in that because there's so much emphasis on the results based on your past life karmas and your state today, as in Gita and all that. So how do I reconcile those?
No, but I'm just talking about, if you look at the Sushupti Avastha, you don't have any experiences of previous karma or anything like that. I'm just talking about your state.
In the current format, present state.
Just when you are deep, when you are asleep, which not current means that when you're sleeping, which you do every night. This is the big gift of the Ishvara, that every night you get to experience Sushupti. So in that state, there is no past, no future, no samskaras, no karma phala, nothing. It's you. That's it. And that is very close to the reality, with one difference. You don't know who you are. So you get up from it, so you're still not clear about it. But that is very close to who you are.
Can that be equated to oblivion, which is actually the opposite of enlightenment?
We'll go into that certainly, a little bit of that. So in a way, what you don't know up to a point doesn't hurt you, but eventually it does. At that point, complete ignorance. You say ignorance is bliss. They say ignorance is bliss. So that's true up to a certain point. So for example, this is an interesting but rather sad example, that suppose you have a loved one that has met an accident, but you don't know it. And you're going around partying and eating ice cream and so on. when in fact there's been a serious accident of somebody who is very close to you. So what that prevents you from becoming sorrowful is ignorance. So yes, ignorance can be bliss, but not for long. It's just a short kind of a thing, yeah. Yes?
Turiya Pad is actually Satchidananda.
Yes.
So if it is all, happiness, bliss, and this, why these three other states?
Because of the error, these are the vikshepa of the avarana. This is exactly because of the ignorance that you're not able to see it exactly as it is. So it just like, they say that, supposing in the classical example that the rope can be taken to be different things by different people. So it's like one can say it's a snake, another one can say it's a garland, another one can say it's a water hose. And so the same thing can be misinterpreted by different things. So it's like saying, gee, if it is rope, then why there is other things? Well, because of the power of not seeing things as they are, a pratiti comes in. So the other states are pratitis, and whereas the turiya is the rope. And so once you understand that, then the other ones also dissolve into it, which we will see.
But why? What is the necessity? Why? It is so.
The necessity is because, I'm just sorry to interrupt you, I'm running short of time. The necessity is because of how we take it to be. There's no necessity if you saw the truth, but because we don't see the truth and we are suffering, there is a necessity to explain the truth. That's all.
So what is the necessity of Turiya Avastha to have this also, the Brahman to have these?
So this is the very you cannot have any creation. Of course, this is a very fundamental question, and we'll spend some more time elsewhere. But you cannot have any creation without having the sense of limitation in the creation. So the sense of errors or the sense of not knowing the truth is fundamental part of the creation. You cannot have a creation without it. Either you have nothing at all, or if you have something, then it has both good and bad in it. So think about it. We'll go into that in more detail. Okay? We'll see you next week.